Hey there, welcome to the Barron's Boutique channel. My name is Jennifer Boyd. Today we're refinishing a sofa table that James and I snagged up on one of our antique adventures. I love bringing new life to furniture pieces. The piece that we were using as a sofa table was also an antique. It was a beautiful mid-century piece, but the style just never quite set well with us because it just wasn't the right fit for our home. I'm thinking of bringing over a deep blue with gray undertones to work with what we've painted on a large door to our weight room. Future plans are to incorporate this same color on our fireplace wall to bring the whole look together. I hope this video gives you some tips and ideas on how to refinish a piece for your home. If you enjoy watching and find this video helpful, make sure you give it a thumbs up and click the like button. Let's get to it. So today's project is refinishing an antique table that James and I found on one of our adventures. But first things first, we're gonna move the table out of the workshop and into this space because currently it is 96 degrees outside. And that means that upstairs in the workshop, it is probably 100 and something. So you can hear the air conditioner running behind me. Let's head into the wood shop and check out what the project is. So leaving the air conditioning into the sweltering heat, going around all the messes. You can hear James downstairs on the forklift. So this is the project. I've already sanded, already removed the drawers. They're here, everything's sanded. I just need to dust it and we're ready for paint. So this is our piece that we are going to be painting. Now I just pulled James aside and was asking him, should we paint it? Should we just leave it be? But on further inspection, there's some areas that I need to fill. And yeah, so unfortunately, this piece is going to need to be painted to give it new life. So I know some of you might get cringy on me about painting an antique piece, but I'm not a big fan about picking up antique pieces and painting everything either. If it's something that can be revived just by sanding it down, giving it a new clear coat or new staining, by all means, I'm a big fan. But in this case, there's some areas that it's just, unfortunately, I just can't bring it back to life the way I need it to be in our space. It would still look a little too rough and rustic to fit where I need it to go. So, painting it is. Something I do when I am doing drawers is when I'm painting a piece, the drawers sliding in and out will wear paint if you paint along all of the edges that rub. So I am prepping every drawer by taping off along the seam of where the wood, where the face of the drawer it joins into the box. So here's a tip. I'm using a chalk paint, and the color I'm using is a very deep blue. This paint isn't quite deep enough, so I'm going to be using a black wax on top of it to darken it and to protect the surface, so if anybody sets a glass on top of it or something like that, the sweat from the glass won't ruin the tabletop that I put time and effort into finishing. I have a nice brand new brush. I like using a brush with a tapered edge. It's nice and soft and clean. Let's get to painting. I like to use long brush strokes, working my way from the top of the piece to the base of the legs. Now, this paint is pretty thick, so a tip would be to use a spray bottle and spray the surface with water and then paint. This thins out the paint just a little bit, making it a little easier to work with, but I like it to go on thicker. You just want to be careful, make sure that you don't have any drips. That's part of working your way from top to bottom. You can catch any areas that may have dripped. So the piece is painted and it's looking fantastic. And I'm gonna go on to my next step, which is to use a very fine sandpaper, do a light sanding on all the surfaces before I wax. The reason I do this is any brush strokes or anything like that that's still visible, I can remove those. This is a 400 grit. Okay, so it's all sanded and done, and I'm now going to use this black wax, and I already started. You can see, let me see if I can get this so you can see color where the light's not shining across it. So I'm just going to rub some of that black wax on, just little bits at a time. You can see how that black wax really made the color perfect. It made it the exact color that I needed to achieve. So when I'm working the wax and I'm using a clean ripped up t-shirt, I'm really working it into the wood, working it into that paint finish and making the surface shine. I want this surface to last for many years to come, so I want it to be protected from any glass sweating on it or anything like that. Table finish is complete and it is in position. So loving the finish, loving the placement. Because this is an older antique piece, the spread for the hardware is a bit of a unique size. Was bolted on instead of with screws, and the style was a little too colonial and traditional for me. So we've picked up these handles that we're going to use, and they are quite a bit wider than what the original was. So what we'll do is drill new holes and just wood fill the existing holes and do a little paint touch-up.
So there's the current spacing, just on a piece of tape on there. Now if I mark the new spacing out here, this will keep my level line. I can just make my marks out here and here. Make sure I'm stay centered on the drawer the way they originally were centered. Then I get a new spacing.
So we're going from 2 1/4 to
5 1/16.
And our new sofa table is complete. Finish is done, hardware's done, it's in place. We love the new sofa table in this space. It's the perfect color, the perfect fit, the perfect style for us. That's a wrap on my furniture refresh video. I hope you found the tips helpful and gave you some inspiration in adding a refreshed piece to your space, or by bringing new life to a piece that you already have. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, make sure you hit the like button. So you don't miss any upcoming videos, click the subscribe button and click the bell to turn on those notifications so you're the first to view the next episode and you don't miss anything. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.